Hi, welcome back, my dear student. In this lecture here, we are going to be instantiating a class. What that means is that we are going to be creating different instances of a class. Remember when I told you that a class is a blueprint? In a class you have methods and you have properties, right? So I want you to think about a class just like this. Imagine that a class is just a template. You have menus, you have links, you have pages and things like that, right? Well, you can make copies of that same template and create different what? Websites, right? With the same template. You can change the color of it. You can make a totally different website out of the same template or many different websites out of one template. So a class is just basically a template, a blueprint, right? Something that we could use to make different what? Objects, right? But now let me just show you a quick example. Let's go ahead and do a save as on this. And let's call this class instance. All right, I'm just gonna take this method out of here and this one. All right, and let's do something here with this method. Let's just do an echo here and say something. Hello, student. I hope you are really motivated. You are really learning something super valuable in this class, in this course, and you should take advantage of it, right? By practicing, by writing exactly what I'm doing right here. Don't just watch me, do it, because that's going to help you. Believe me, it is. So now we created this method inside this class, right? So now, in order for us to start producing different instances, and those instances will be what? Objects, right? Because that's what basically this is all about, creating objects. So for us to make a different, to activate this, the first thing that we need to do to instantiate this is we need to write the word new and the name of the class. And as you can see, my editor is already helping me with that, following by parentheses and a semicolon. So this class is instantiated now here one time. All right. Now, in order for us to do it multiple times to create different objects, right? We need to assign it to something so that we can hold all this definition that this class has. And where do we actually hold things in PHP or any programming language, right? In variables and arrays and things like that, right? So let's use a variable and call this whatever we want. In this case, I'm just going to call it BMW. And I don't know if you see what is happening here. You see, we can have a, let's say for example, a game that has a bunch of functions of the car moving the wheels and whatever. And here in the properties later on, we're going to have variables that will probably give us the color of the car and things like that, right? Now we have the same functionality for every different car, right? Let me just make another instance here. Right here, and then I can call this whatever I want. Mercedes. I like BMW, by the way. That's my favorite car. But as you can see here, all I'm doing is creating different templates, different blueprints. Actually, same blueprints, but there are different instances. This is the BMW object, right? Or what? Instance. And this is the Mercedes instance. So I can go ahead later on and assign different functionality to this instance than this. All they have in common right now is a definition. So everything I put in this class, properties and functions or methods and things like that, each of them will have that. They will always have that same definition, and we can use it, but we can assign it different values later on depending on which instance we are working with. All right, I want you to understand that, have it very clearly. If not, rewind the video and try to understand it, or write it down a couple times. Now, in order for us to activate the functionality inside this class, this functionality greeting, we need to use that variable right here. I'm going to use the BMW variable. I'm going to paste it here, and then we use something that you probably have not seen before. It's an arrow right here. So I got a hyphen and the greater than symbol, and then the name of that specific method. I'm going to copy it here and paste it here, and then semicolon. And that automatically is going to activate this method. All right, so I'm going to save it. I'm going to go back to my localhost here. I'm going to refresh it, and I'm going to click here, instance. And as you can see, automatically we get that method activated within that class. All right, super simple to do. Again, we created a different instance by using different variable names and using the send keywords right here. New cars. Every time you want to create a new an instance, you need to have the same right here, the same keywords, and just change the variable names. All right, later on I'm going to show you how to play around a little bit more with that, but as you can see here, it's super fun to do, super easy, and it saves you a whole bunch of time. All right, if you come from procedural PHP, you can have a form class here with a whole bunch of different variables and actions and methods, and then you can create different objects with that form. All right, class. So hopefully you start seeing the power of object-oriented programming and you're happy, because this is super exciting. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this lecture, and I see you in the next one.